Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Well, it's going to be a very exciting couple days here at the shop, and that is because we're getting this 1970 Dodge Charger blasted, epoxied, all in one color. Hopefully all the rust gets knocked off, and hopefully we can really see kind of what we're working with in terms of what sort of metal work or rust repair that we're going to have to do on this car. Because if you guys remember the last episode, we definitely found some things that were a little bit surprising, so fingers crossed we don't find the same thing. Now, I did have a couple days to go ahead and start getting some work done, so I went ahead and knocked out some repairs here to our radiator support. If you guys remember, this thing was kind of flapping in the breeze, had some really ugly Gorilla welds on it, and we cleaned everything up, and she is sitting nice and solid now, and really it's all ready for that US Car Tool upper and lower stiffening kit to go here on the radiator support. You guys probably remember how bent up that lower support is, or at least it was. Couple slight soft massaging blows with the hammer was able to get that thing looking pretty. Also went ahead, just to make the blaster's job a little bit easier here, went ahead and needle scaled all of the original undercoating here off of at least the inner fenders, the frame rails, and really underneath you can get that stuff off pretty easily. But no, guys, the rest of this turned out really nice. Still no surprises here at this point. And we really should be in store for some nice, hopefully fresh, clean metal after this blasting is all wrapped up. You guys can see I also went ahead, took off all the little remnants of all the junk that was left from the original trunk pan, as well as off of the inner and outer wheelhouse sections right there. And so we are going to go with the exact same blaster that we did last time. Bryce from Innovative Sandblasting, here local to me in Ogden, Utah, does fantastic work, actually comes right here to the house. So we're out here early morning on a weekend, and I hope my neighbors don't get too upset with that. But it's kind of what the situation is. I'd really like to do it here at the house, and he can normally wrap up in pretty short order. He's really fast at this stuff, and the most important thing, he's very delicate as well with any of the thinner parts and pieces, right? Your quarter panels, your roof skins. Here we're going to be doing that really nice hood, so you don't want somebody going in there and just hammering on it and damaging all of these parts, because once they warp, might as well hop on Marketplace and find some new stuff. So you guys probably remember too, he's the one that also blasted the Cuda, the other Charger, the Roadrunner. He's done a lot of different cars for me, and yeah, always does fantastic work. So I think he's going to be here in less than 10 minutes. So once he gets all set up, I'll have him do a quick intro for you, and we're going to get this thing cranking and get it all blasted today. Alrighty, guys, well, we got the car through blast, and it's also already in epoxy. Now, this was not planned, I promise you guys this, but hear me out. I've showed you guys how to do this, prep the car, get it epoxied, probably 5 or 6 times on a whole bunch of different builds, okay? So really no difference here. The only difference in this process was that I was like up against the wall with the weather, man. It was like windy, rainy, nasty. By the end of the blast, man, I had to get this thing in the garage as fast as possible, shut the doors, get it all prepped out, and get it sprayed, and like the whole car, all the panels, everything in 2 days, because we also had to load up the Sadie and take that down to Tucson for duct tape drags, which we just got back from that last night. So it has been a very, very busy week and a half on this car, on other cars, but I'm happy to say this thing is all in epoxy. Now, found quite a bit of damage, and I'm gonna show you that here in just a second. One thing that is really nice with it being in the white epoxy, you can see everything. So all the damage pops right out, and yeah, this car definitely tells a story, and there's a little bit more damage hidden than what I thought there would be. All right, so let's start off here with just a real simple walk around. Of course, we got the fenders kind of just pinned on into place right now. I've got the doors pinned on as well. I went ahead, rebuilt the upper and lower hinges on both sides, which it desperately needed. And I've got the doors set pretty close. I don't have any latches yet, so we won't final set the doors quite yet. But yeah, I can't wait to panel gap and match this whole car, because that really makes everything look nice and ties everything together, and yeah, really makes a huge difference in the end. But no, the deck lid came out fantastic. The hood, I'm still convinced that this is the best condition hood that I've ever seen, not on a fully restored car. You just don't see them like this. You don't see them like this in parts piles or at the swap meet. There's a few pinholes on it, and that is it. No major rust, nothing crazy whatsoever. That hood is probably just about good to use. I mean, half hour's worth of work and it'll be beautiful and ready to put on the car. Front valance needs some work, nothing crazy, hammer dolly work. And then I've also started unboxing some of the parts that I got from our friends over at AMD. But no, let's take a quick walk around this thing. Again, there's some very interesting work that's been done in the past, which, you know, this car was probably repaired at a time where they didn't have AMD, they didn't have all these aftermarket panels and all this support. And so you used to have to go to the junkyard, cut these parts out of cars that were sitting there and weld them in and make it all work. And I have a few examples of that I'm gonna show you guys here, especially up on the front side of the car. Wheel wells, fantastic. Frame rails, floor pans, they look wonderful. The deck lid here, still just have that one spot of, you know, that corner where there's a whole bunch of metal filler kind of chucked in there. We should be able to fix that pretty easy. But I would say overall, you know, there's just evidence of some kind of crude work that was done with, you know, a pretty heavy hand, a lot of hammer marks, a lot of abrasive wheel marks, you know, a lot of those kind of things. But all that stuff can be fixed here pretty easy. I do have the tail panel just kind of clecoed into place right now. You know, it's really easy to put that part off and on the car with having those guide holes there. But really the back side of this, you guys, I've got about 4 coats of epoxy on the inside of these frame rails. We'll go ahead and hit that with the Zero Rust, put some weld through primer on all the perimeter weld areas, and it's gonna be ready to burn in that beautiful brand new trunk pan. And I'm looking forward to making this car solid again, because it really needs to go up on the rotisserie, so that way we can install all those US Car Tool Stage 2 goodies, the torque boxes, upper and lower radiator support, all those things. Can do that on the rotisserie, followed up by some undercoating, and essentially the car will be about finished at that point, which would be really nice. But looking here at this side, again, you know, kind of those lower quarter panels, which we were already planning on doing there. But, you know, what's really nice, guys, the doors, beautiful. The rocker panels are also awesome. Nothing crazy whatsoever. Nothing like that anyways. We're gonna fix that. We're gonna make that right. The roof, damn near immaculate. Again, I'm so jealous that this car is not mine. There is some of that factory lead there in that corner still. So, I mean, these have never been taken off, nothing crazy, nothing huge repaired at all. Speaker shelf, fantastic. We do have a couple issues. You guys can see right there, the hole on the window channel, but the rest of the channel, guys, front and back, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Inside of the car, just as nice. I did say that there was no issues with the floor pan, but down in that corner, there's about a 4" by 4" spot that we will have to patch. But the rest of this stuff, all factory, all original, and all in beautiful, beautiful condition. Then we get to the front of this car, and we got a few issues that we're going to talk about. First off, again, a lot of crude stud welder marks. You know, the right way to do this, if you're going to do that, pull the dents out, grind them off, weld these closed. You know, make sure that you can't tell that you've been in here and, you know, welded in 30 different studs on that and pulled it all out and filled it all in with body filler. That's definitely not the right way to do that. We'll fill those in with weld. Now, looking at the front of this car, I knew there were some issues here, especially with that upper radiator support piece. My guess is that this car took a hit at some point in its past, or maybe something fell on top of it. But either way, I'm pretty convinced that at least the top bar of the radiator support, as well as that inner fender, have all been replaced at some point in its life. The upper rad support, I did some repairs on the passenger side, made that side really nice and solid. This side, I was pulling the car off the trailer, and you guys can see, I mean, this is ugly, cold welds all the way up and around that, and the whole thing just popped right off. So I'm going to grind all that out. We're going to clean everything up and go ahead and plug weld this back on here and make it super solid. Of course, that upper radiator support piece here from US Car Tool is really going to tie all that together nice. But yeah, the ugly welds on that, as well as the ugly welds that were on this inner fender here. One thing I also did pick up on, after blast, it was pretty apparent that there are actually date codes on the inner fenders, and they are over 1.5 years apart. So one of them is marked 1970, the other one is marked like early 69. So yeah, 68 to 70, all these were exactly the same across all B bodies. So it could have been cut off a car at the junkyard, put on there to make this one right, and put it back on the road, and that's my guess of what happened. But again, it can all be fixed, guys. Not a big deal. And you know, I'm really happy, really excited to see how good a condition this car is in. And you know, it's just going to take quite a bit of body work, I think, just to make this thing right. Not as much on the metal side, but again, you can see like all these hammer marks, right? All that kind of stuff right there. Okay, my guess, he had some oil canning going on here, heated that up, caved it in, paved it with some body filler, and threw it in primer. That's not the way I fix things here. So we're gonna make it right, like I said, for the owner, and again, move this car on out of here and get it back to him so he can finish up the body and the paint work and put this car back on the road. Now, like I said earlier, coming up next, guys, we're gonna go ahead, knock out that trunk pan, get that rear valance done, and get them lower quarters all cleaned up, make it all new, make it all right, and make it all rock solid so we can get this thing up on the rotisserie for all the chassis stiffening and undercoating, which will follow all of that work. So if you guys are enjoying this build, drop me a comment below, hit that like button, and of course, if you have not done so yet already, guys, please subscribe to the channel, follow these updates, and right after this car, we've got another build coming up as well, which I can't wait to tell you guys about. So until next time, guys, take care. I'll see y'all again real soon.